Welcome to Champ Week, presented by Principal. We're in the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada, for the Big Sky Conference Championship game for the Reno Event Center. The Montana Grizzlies, the regular season champs and the top seed in this tournament, take on the Eastern Washington Eagles, the 3 seed, here for the right to go to the NCAA tournament. Each team had to win 2 games to get to this title tilt. For number 1 seed Montana, they held on and outlasted Northern Colorado 91-89 in overtime last night. For Eastern Washington, a 12-point win over Southern Utah to get to this final in Reno. Along with Adrian Branch, Roxy Bernstein with you. Bogdan Bliznyk, who last night, Adrian, became the all-time leading scorer in the history of the Big Sky Conference.
He did it so efficiently. His coach says he's a throwback player. He can score from anywhere on the floor, but he only took 1 3-pointer and dominated the floor of the game yesterday.
So Bliznyk, who is having a red-hot tournament for Eastern Washington, will try to get his Eagles into the dance for the first time since 2015, when as a freshman they won the Big Sky Championship in a game at Montana. Ahmaad Rory, the point guard for Travis DeCuire, the transfer from Oregon, a dynamic playmaker for the Grizz.
He makes this team go. He's an excellent decision maker. He can push the tempo. You see those strong shoulders. He can score from 3 levels as well, play in traffic, but also he's just like you. He can hit his free throws in the money, sir.
That's about all I can do, Adrian. The home whites for the top seed, Montana, and the road red for Eastern Washington. The Eagles 20-13 overall. They've won 8 straight coming into this championship game. Montana's won 5 in a row. They're 25-7 overall. And we are underway from Reno with the Big Sky Conference championship game. Michael Ogine, and it's off the foot of Bogdan Bliznyk, and they'll put the shot clock back to 20 for the Grizzlies. So Montana in this championship game for the 19th time in school history. They've won 9 Big Sky tournaments. They're trying to get back to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2013.
You try to see what team has an advantage, but both teams now are playing their 3rd game. So it's not like one team is playing their 5th game in 5 days. So both of them should be fresh for this.
You played through the ACC tournament, Adrian. Do you remember what it was like when you were trying to play the 3rd game in 3 days, and where were your legs at and your energy?
Well, one, you're a young guy, so it's not like I'm 54 right now, and I can feel a little ache and pain. But you know what? When you have a special run and you're playing for a championship and a bid to the tournament, you're eating powder and broken glass. You're just fired up, ready to play through anything.
Here is Bogdan Bliznyk. Inside, Mason Peatling for Eastern Washington to get the first points of this championship game.
Great start for anybody not named Bliznyk that can take pressure off of him, because he's going to do some heavy lifting in this game.
Here comes Eastern Washington after the turnover. Inside, Peatling underneath. 4-0 Eastern Washington. That
play was made because the leading scorer in this tournament always draws a double team, but he's unselfish, so he makes the right pass. This is a well-coached. Both teams are well-coached.
Eastern Washington has scored Bliznyk rather for Eastern Washington has scored at least 30 points in each of the first 2 games of this tournament. He had 32 in their win here last night as it rattles in for Ahmaad Rory of Montana.
It's interesting. Ahmaad said that he and Bliznyk are AAU teammates back in Washington, Tacoma, Washington. That would have been a problem for some high school kids.
3-pointer missed by Cody Benzel, and Montana controls. We welcome those of you just joining us to the Reno Event Center in downtown Reno, Nevada for the Big Sky Conference Championship game. Just underway along with Adrian Branch, Roxy Bernstein with you. Eastern Washington scored the first 4 points of the game, all belonging to Mason Peatling for the Eagles, and Montana has answered to tie the game at 4 on that bucket by Jamar Ako. Regular season champs, top seed Montana against the 3-seed Eastern Washington. The Eagles have won 8 in a row. Montana's won 5 straight to get to this championship game, and an offensive foul and a charge called against Michael Ogine for Montana. Shante Leggins, his first year as the head coach for Eastern Washington, his 9th year on the staff in Cheney, Washington, and a former terrific point guard in his own right, played at Cal and Fresno State, and now in his first year as the head coach in a 20-win season.
I like what I'm seeing defensively from Montana. They're running at Bluznik to try to keep him uncomfortable. You don't want to let them get a good start. Let somebody else try to beat you.
Jack Perry, the freshman from Melbourne, Australia, hits a 3, and it's Eastern Washington by 3.
It's an easy flow. Both teams right now have an easy flow. They're getting what they want on the offensive end.
Bobby Moorhead leans in off the window.
The hero from yesterday passed up a game winner earlier, but then he just caught it and shot it right in front of us. That was a dagger to send him to the championship game.
An overtime win as Montana was able to outlast Northern Colorado last night as Fabian Krislovic gets the rebound for Montana. Ahmad Rory, how about that step back, Adrian? You like that?
Sports Center, put it on there. It's been a lot of happening in Big Sky. That was a thing of beauty.
So Ahmad Rory gives Montana their first lead.
Wow. That was a thing of beauty. He's kind of smiling, too. When you're that good, you can smile inside yourself.
Yeah, you make a move like that, you're allowed to
that was
show
beautiful.
some emotion.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Mason Peatling the kick. Here is Bogdan Bliznuk.
See how they run out?
Leading scorer in conference history.
Double team getting the ball out of his hand.
Shot clock violation. Cody Benzel couldn't get it off in time, and that's the defense Travis DeCuire in Montana we're looking for.
Roy taking us a break. Here's a stop, a pop. What? Oh my goodness! Let me clear my throat. You got game, Roxy. You got game.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Investments, retirement, insurance. Ives Pet Food, good for life. And Crest, healthy, beautiful smiles for life.
Yes, beautiful Lake Tahoe, not too far from where we're at in Reno, the biggest little city in the world. The Big Sky Conference championship game and a 1-point lead for the Montana Grizzlies, along with former Maryland All-American NBA champion Adrian Branch. Roxy Bernstein with you. And a good start to this one between two efficient basketball teams.
Yeah, both teams want to push the tempo. They want to get their players out and going. Rory already has a stop and beautiful move that I'm waiting to see again. But this is going to be a pace where you want to get the other one. What? Right here, Roxy. Oh, my goodness. That's just not fair. That's just not fair.
You're talking about breaking somebody's ankles.
Call the medic on that one. That was a thing of beauty.
Here is Ahmad Rory. First team All Big Sky performer. He started his college career at Oregon. Saeed Pridgett checks in, a sophomore from Oakland for Montana, as Fabian Krislovic makes it 10-7 Grizz.
When you're able to get points in the paint for both teams, you're able to set your defense up. And for Montana, they want to score in the paint so they can double team. I like everything I'm seeing about not letting Bliznuk, number 32 in red, get going.
Number 1 in white, Timmy Falls checks in, a freshman from Dublin in the Bay Area, as a 3 buried by Cody Benzel for Eastern Washington.
Now, the good thing about Eastern Washington, he has some help. His teammates accept their role, and they'll take advantage of open shots. They're knocking it down while he's got the double team.
And Benzel's first points here in Reno, he was scoreless in each of their quarterfinal and semifinal matchups. Timmy Falls in the key with the left hand.
You can see the determination of the Grizz. They want to attack. They got bopped in the nose by Eastern Washington, and they want this game. But Eastern Washington as well is playing with good composure.
Montana is 6 of 7 from the floor to start this one. Jack Perry, the teardrop, and the rebound claimed by Bobby Moorhead for Montana. Montana beat North Dakota on Thursday in their quarterfinal matchup. as Ahmad Rory throws it away, 84-76. As Rory had a career-high 30 points in that ball game, and then Travis DeCuire saw his team knock off Northern Colorado last night in overtime. And they played only once this season. And Montana, who started the year 13-0 in the Big Sky, that was their first conference loss. It was in Cheney against Eastern Washington. In a ball game, the Eagles won 74-65.
Well, let's face it, there's no love lost between Eastern Washington and Montana. Going down to sports and basketball and baseball.
Two good football programs as well.
So they're always going to take each other's best shots and try to master one another when they compete.
Sir Washington has a shot blocked by Michael Ogine. And a foul as Pritchett was trying to get to the hoop, but it's on Cody Benzel of Eastern Washington.
For the first 7 minutes, the white jerseys are winning this double team. You've got to respect this young man. This young man has 279 more shots than his next teammate. So what's that mean? Make somebody else beat you. Put it in the hands of somebody else. The next best scorer is only 7 points a game. Bliznook averages 21 a game.
Dennis Gressionis checks in, a grad transfer from Charlotte, a 7-foot senior from Lithuania for Eastern Washington. It's off balance, the flip up and in by Saeed Pritchett.
How about this young man came out yesterday, and he was the difference when it went into overtime. He came out just attacking, and the trust that Coach DeCuire has to put the ball in his hands.
He's had a really strong tournament off the bench for Travis DeCuire in Montana. There are the first points for Bogdan Bliznook, the all-time leading scorer in Big Sky Conference history. He now has 2,129 career points.
Went 7 minutes before he scored, so he was patient, allowing the defense to double team him and find open shooters, and they're very much attached to this game.
And he's averaging 33.5 points per game in this tournament as Bobby Moorhead nails a three.
Jeff Van Gundy would be breaking out in hives because he would say it's no defense out here. These folks are just making shots. This is good offense right here, beating good defense.
Bliznook the miss, rebound. Tamar Oko, here comes Montana. Moorhead again from deep. And the rebound falls to Jack Perry for Eastern Washington.
Roxy, simple game plan. Double team number 32 when he gets in the scoring area. You can't let him get comfortable. And then when you get an opportunity, run out. Make Eastern Washington chase you.
7-time the Eagles have been in the Big Sky Championship game. Last winning it in 2015 on Montana's home floor.
Got to double team that. Got to run at him.
Bliznook steps back for three.
Now, I would be upset because I've got the leading scorer measuring my power forward, just playing with him. So you've got to commit. But he's got it in the middle of the floor so he can see double teams. That's a good place to play, right in the middle of the floor.
Tough shot in the key, short from Timmy Falls. And the rebound there is Bogdan Bliznook for the Eagles.
Eastern Washington now made the adjustments. They're flowing. Bliznook making easier shots. They stop running at him, stop double teaming him.
Gressionis lays it in and we're tied.
It's interesting, Roxy, where Coach Leggins said that his team, the chemistry is fantastic. Guys could be pouting because they're not getting shots, not getting minutes, but they come in and do their job, and they all go uptown together. My high school coach, Morgan Wooten, said, when you win, we all go uptown together.
Lob back door, the alley-oop attempt for Ogine broken up. And it's out of bounds, last touch by Montana. It belongs to Eastern Washington. Everybody buys into their role for Eastern Washington, including the guy who's got to get it done offensively, Bogdan Bliznook.
The sum is greater than the parts, and you can see this star measuring. It's going to be a long night when he's making that three-point shot.
Champ Week presented by Principal rolls on Sunday at 1 Eastern with the SEC Championship game. Kentucky and Tennessee meeting in St. Louis. The SEC Championship Sunday 1 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app if you're out and about. as Kentucky rolled past Alabama.
How about
today.
those young pups, Roxy? All of a sudden, I wrote them off. I said, well, Calipari's finally going to have some sophomores and juniors.
Little did you know they'd get to the title game. Against Tennessee, what a job Rick Barnes has done this year with the Vols. Pretty good.
Comment. Go and comment for me. They've been tough. They've been tough. Rick Barnes has been a great fit for him. I thought Cuonzo Martin was put him on the map, Sweet 16. It wasn't easy to do, but Rick Barnes has stepped in and galvanized an excited fan base.
Tie game in the Big Sky Conference championship game in Reno. And a timeout for Eastern Washington to save the possession as Jack Perry is trapped along the sideline. So a 30-second timeout as Montana and Eastern Washington tied in this championship game. So timeout on the floor, 17 aside in Reno. So Bogdan Bliznuk, the Big Sky Conference MVP, who last night in their semifinal win for Eastern Washington against Southern Utah became the all-time leading scorer in the history of the conference.
He's fantastic. 13 out of 17, Roxy. When they knew he was going to get the ball and he was still able to deliver.
And how about that NCAA single-season record, which he set the regular season finale against Northern Arizona? Salah to Benes Gressiones from Sir Washington, and it's Eastern Washington by 2.
Play on words, give us another Washington. Where's George Washington? The interesting thing, Sir Washington is an X factor. So he comes out with enthusiasm, with intensity, and that's a great start for him in this championship match.
Just to finish the thought on Bliznuk is Michael Ogine hits a 3 for his first points in the ballgame as Montana seesaws in front. But Bogdan Bliznuk made 77 consecutive free throws during the course of this season, which is an NCAA single-season record. He went from New Year's Eve all the way until March 8th.
Roxy, that's outstanding. So you're playing through colds, you're playing through busted-up ankles, you're playing through conditions where you don't feel like playing. 77 is impressive.
Turnover. Here comes Falls.
Nice pass.
Ahmaad Rory fouled by Sir Washington.
How about that pass from Falls looking the other direction, but the alley-oop, Sir Washington, a lefty coming off the bench, up and away. And when big guys can get an easy basket, a slam dunk, they're energized to defend. They're like traffic cops. They see everything, so they talk more when they're able to get easy baskets.
It's amazing how one side of the floor influences the other.
That's called basketball, man. That's called basketball. But no matter how much coaches harp on just play the game, a lot of times for young players and basketball players, as your offense goes, they go.
Ahmaad Rory having a good tournament himself. He's averaged 23.5 points a game in their 2 wins, including a career-best 30 here on Thursday against North Dakota. He played 44 minutes last night.
Upperclassman, just like Bogdan Bliznuk. You can't speed him up. Plays within himself. Very good college player. I would still double team number 32 in red every time he touched it.
Jacob Davison from deep, and we're tied.
Roxy, you can see where this is the #1 3-point shooting team. They make 10 3-pointers a game. So if you go by the 3-point line, they have the advantage over Montana.
And they shoot 38% out there.
Good shots, high percentage shots.
Bobby Moorhead answers with a 3. His second 3.
Yeah, that's the carryover from that game winner. When you hit a game winner, put yourself in a position to have a possible NCAA berth, you can see the ease and the confidence and the flow that he's playing with.
And he hit that late 3 to force overtime last night, which helped force overtime. And their possession here for the Eagles, as it was a tie game at the end of regulation with 1 second to go. And Tanner Morgan of Northern Colorado missed 2 free throws, which could have given the Northern Colorado Bears the win. But he missed. They go to overtime, and Montana finds a way to outlast Northern Colorado.
People don't like to use the word choke. Was that a choke? I'll say it for you. He choked. He spit.
I'm not throwing the kid under the bus.
I'm not
just not
under
doing
the
it.
bus,
but you feel for him considering he missed 2 free throws with 1 second to go.
Big choke. Well, that was a missed opportunity there. And so for the Grizz, they want to play fast. They know that they escape because of 2 missed free throws right there in the money. So you can see them with a new lease on life.
It just seemed like it energized them for the extra 5 minutes.
What's the sign I'm making trying to make you laugh? It's called running out of oxygen. Good ball movement.
Jack Perry, corner 3. Second 3 for Perry is a 45% three-point shooter.
Coach's son from down under in Australia. I played in Australia for 3 years. My daughter Kylie was born there. Very good basketball players coming out of Australia.
One of 3 Aussies on this Eastern Washington team. They're not necessarily St. Mary's, who has 6 Aussies, but Jim Hafer, the old head coach for Eastern Washington, has the pipeline himself. And we're tied in the Big Sky Conference Championship.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Esurance, auto and home insurance for the modern world.
Three-point shooting, the crossover and step back by the MVP in the conference. And then how about role players stepping up, sharing the basketball, taking pressure off of the superstar Blizner.
25 up, 6:57 to go here in the first half of this Big Sky Conference Championship game. There's a three-point shooting, which Eastern Washington has been on a torrid clip here in this tournament. Coming into this championship game, Eastern Washington was shooting 56% from 3
good
in this tournament.
Well, actually, they're good shots. When you look at it, it's off of assist. The floor is spread, so watch the spacing. They play for one another, and then there comes a time where you just have to display skill, and they're doing that.
15 times this year, the Eagles made 10 or more threes in a game. In the last 3 games, 51% from outside the arc, but they go inside with Jacob Davison, and they go up 2.
Davison, I'm waiting to see a rebound come off the rim because he can kiss the rim. This young man can fly. See him warming up, and he's got all kind of fancy dunks, but he plays bigger than his 6'3" frame.
Bobby Moorhead hustling. Loose ball, Davison on the deck. And diving in as a and the arrow goes with Eastern Washington.
That could have been rough when you got 270 pounds coming in as a freight train. Watch this right here. Now there's live ball, turnovers on the ground. But when Oko comes, you know what? I'm getting out the way. Big man, go ahead. You got it. I'm 170 pounds, you're 270.
4 turnovers now against Montana. It's been a tight championship game since the opening tip.
The three-point shooting negates the size of Montana with Eastern Washington. They're a smaller team, but when they can do that,
Ty Gibson a 3.
That's the differential. Keeping Montana off balance when you can load up at the three-point line.
6 for 10 from long range, and 5 different Eagles have made threes.
And what happens, you're a little more reluctant to double-team Blizner.
Largest lead for Eastern Washington. The Eagles on an 8-0 run. And a travel against Fabian Krislovic. Another giveaway for Montana.
Well, that's a bad pass by Oko. Threw it right at his ankle, so he's nowhere to go. But again, for Oko, just turn, jump straight up. There's no shot blocking out there. This is a pace that favors Eastern Washington. They have the lead. Everyone is moving the basketball. The floor is spaced, taking advantage of opportunities. This is a red-hot team, as red as their jerseys.
And a foul. And it's on Ahmad Rory of Montana, his first. Just a second team foul against Eastern Washington. We've been in a relatively foul-free game. Just 4 total.
You're right. Open flow. Shots have been made, especially for Eastern Washington. They don't get a lot of points in the paint unless it's off a drive and kick. Now, let's see if they double-team Blizner again, because his teammates have been making shots. Got to move on the flight of the ball.
5 to shoot. Sir Washington fires. And the rebound falls to Krislovic in Montana.
Yeah, you want him shooting it. He's only a 30% three-point shooter, so that's not his strength.
Krislovic backing his way in. Can't get the roll. And the rebound control by Peatling for Eastern Washington. Davison, three.
Roxy, a triple team, left the open shooter at the three-point line. And give credit to the superstar Bliznook, allowing his teammates, trusting his teammates to knock down open opportunities.
Ahmad Rory, foot on the line. And it's cleared by Eastern Washington. And the Eagles have scored 11 straight.
One of the goals for Eastern Washington was battle on the glass. So right now, they have been rebounding well, competing. They're +1 against a bigger front line.
Pulled down by Krislovic is Sir Washington well short with that one. 3:40 left first half. And a foul, and it's against Eastern Washington. And it's on Ty Gibson. 11-0 run for Eastern Washington, up 8 on Montana.
Legendary. This is our rivalry. This is our game. You just can't sit back and hope they miss.
It's like, we're the better team.
We're fighting our off. I feel like nobody can beat us.
That's a nice jacket, though. He don't need to split that one.
Legendary.
It is Champ Week and the Big Sky Conference Championship on the line here in Reno. Coming up on the Audi halftime report, more tickets punched. And how about Houston upsetting Wichita State? Plus highlights and stats from our first half is Shante Leggins going up against Travis DeCuire. There's a Cal connection here, which of course is, you know, my alma mater.
That's your alma
But
mater?
Shante Leggins, former point guard at Cal, and Travis DeCuire, former associate head coach in California for Mike Montgomery.
I feel the love. I feel the love. What was you guys' school colors? Like green and blue?
University of California, you know what
You
we're
are so easy. You are so easy.
Yes, I do take quick offense.
Your face dropped.
Saeed Pridgett from Montana.
Oh, my goodness.
And that ends the run for Eastern Washington.
Eastern Washington has been on fire, Roxy. 4 out of 5. And they're shooting 58% from the three-point line. Again, you got to run at this. I don't like this matchup with a big trying to guard a shifty score.
Falls off for Bliznook. The offensive rebound. Peatling a putback.
Eastern Washington has been able to take advantage of scrambling the defense for Montana. When you run at, you have to give up something. When you run at Bliznook, that gives a rebounding lane for Peatling.
And a foul. And it's on Mason Peatling of Eastern Washington his first. And Shante Leggins was a 3-year starter at point guard. Then played his last year at Fresno State. But he went to the NCAA tournament a couple of times as the point guard for Ben Braun at Cal.
Who were some of the players out there? I know that
Joe Shipp was there then. Brian Weathers was part of those teams. Solomon Hughes.
How'd your Cal teams do in those years?
Made a tournament a few times.
There you go.
And the rebound falls to Jacob Davison for Eastern Washington.
But both of these teams, to your point with that Cal degree, coaching influence, they're two well-coached teams. They play well off of each other, don't take a lot of bad shots, and you just coach what's available.
And a foul against Montana. Our NBA Sunday matchup comes to you from Staples Center. LeBron and the Cavs take on former Cal Isaiah Thomas and the Lakers, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on ESPN and the ESPN app.
I love my Lakers when we're winning. I hate my Lakers when we're losing. LeBron will be a Laker next year. I don't know.
You're calling the shot right now?
I have no idea.
Also, a couple other guys that Shante Leggins played with at Cal. Sean Lampley played in the NBA for a little while. And Dennis Gates is now the associate head coach at Florida State for Leonard Hamilton.
Yeah.
Three rattles home, and Jacob Davison, 11 points to lead Eastern Washington, and the Eagles' lead is 11.
Everything is cooking for Eastern Washington. The ball movement, the one and done, holding the Grizz right there. Points in the paint have been few and far between. Now, Montana scores inside, but Eastern Washington has gotten separation because they're shooting 61% from the three.
8 of 13 from three. Bliznook spinning, gets the roll. Eastern Washington shooting 57% and continuing their hot shooting here in Reno.
And they've earned it. It's not that it's been a gimmick. They've taken advantage of opportunities. Starring this young man with the basketball. He's not forced his offense. He's not jacking shots. He trusts his teammates.
And Bliznook setting a Big Sky Conference tournament record.
Two AAU teammates right there playing against each other.
And a foul, it's on Michael Ogine, who was the Defensive Player of the Year in the Big Sky of Montana.
Watch Bliznook. He likes that spin in traffic and able to just have that soft touch. He's wired to score. I'm going to give you a name. You know the Ravios.
Yeah.
Yeah, Derek Ravio.
Sure.
Yeah, he reminds me, though, of the dad, Rick Ravio.
Rick played in Portland.
No question. He was a natural scorer. Had strong lower body. He could take the contact. He was in shape. A lot of people don't remember Rick Ravio, but it's not Derek and his sons, but it's the father that he reminds me of.
11-point lead for Eastern Washington. These two teams met in the 2015 Big Sky Conference Championship game in Missoula. There is Bogdan Bliznook as a freshman.
They would say he has the clutch genes right there, the young fella with the determination. And now we're looking at a historic performance right there. And now also the Big Sky's all-time leading scorer.
And in that game, Eastern Washington trailed Montana by 11 with 6 minutes to go. Finished the game on a 21-6 run and stunned the Dahlberg Arena crowd there in Missoula when Eastern Washington stormed back to win the Big Sky on Montana's home floor. And that was an Eastern Washington team. Jim Hayford was the coach at the time. And they had Tyler Harvey, who was the leading scorer in the country.
Called talent there. That was the fourth defender now. Rory, the fourth defender, going against his old AAU teammate down in Tacoma, Washington. Avery Bradley's team, you're saying. That's pretty good.
Not bad, not bad. Timmy Falls.
Ken Montana knocked down that shot right there.
Bobby Moorhead missing from three. Now Eastern Washington can play for the last shot of the half.
And think about this, for Montana, only one offensive rebound.
Bliznook. Tough shot. And the rebound, Saeed Pridgett for Montana. That ends the first half. And a late surge by Eastern Washington. Adrian, they're up 11 at the half.
It's the three-point shooting, the teammates that have come alongside the Player of the Year in conference that has been lightening the load. That's what we talked about in the open. Can they do that again for the next 20 minutes?
40-29, Eastern Washington, who hit 8 threes in the first half, shooting 53% with the lead in the Big Sky Conference Championship game. Coming up after the break, it's the Audi Halftime Report. Well, Shante Leggins, I think he's got some nervous energy, Adrian, as he just continues to pace, circle the court, walk around. I've never seen a coach like Shante Leggins where he just paces and circles around the floor.
I totally agree with you. I've never seen that before. I've been around the game for 40 years. I've never seen that before, Roxy.
And pregame, a lot of coaches, normally they hang in the back. They'll just go in the locker room, work on their last-minute notes in preparation. As the loose ball, saving it is Fabian Krislovic and a new shot clock for Montana. And they're adjusting, but he can't do that, he said. Gathering and scoring for Montana is Jamar Ako. And then Ako and Mason Peatling get tied up, and Ako lost his shoe in the process.
Well, Ako was upset because it looks like He held on to him where his shoe came off. Don't want to get that big fella upset.
So here is Ako getting the bucket, then watch after the play.
Good tied in right there.
Little leg lock there on the shoe. Knocked it off. And now Montana picking up full court.
Well, it's no tomorrow. We should see everything in this last 20 minutes. The urgency. In fact, Eastern Washington controlled the tempo. They played with a little more snap and zeal in the first half. This is a new 20 minutes. Somebody is going to the NCAA tournament after this game.
Shot clock at 10. Mason Peatling hits the 2 from the corner.
I've been so impressed with this young man. He reminds me of a young Alvin Adams. Remember that name?
Wow.
From the Phoenix Suns?
Yeah, I do.
He was an undersized center, but he was so efficient. Real easy flow.
Open 3 for Ahmad Rory. He has 9 to lead the Grizz.
Yeah, and Ahmad is too good of a basketball player. He cannot allow his opponent just to get by him and make plays where he doesn't come down with an answer.
Just to finish the thought on Shantay Legans, so he didn't just do it at the beginning of the second half. He was doing that pregame. He couldn't be back there. He came out, paced, went back to get changed, came back, paced again.
And maybe he thinks he's a caged tiger. But the interesting thing with him is that he gets his guys. Yeah, this is a good game. You can see now Montana coming out, playing with the focus, dialed in, trying to get back into this game.
3 threes for Moorhead, and Montana is close within 5. Good adjustments by Travis DeCuire, trying to speed up Eastern Washington and make them uncomfortable.
And with Roy right now against Bliznook, he's quick enough to just contest his offensive shot. I like that adjustment.
Michael Ogine clears.
There's no secrets out here right now. Both teams are well scouted. Got to knock down that open shot.
Michael Ogine, a 3. Timeout, Eastern Washington. It's Montana, 9 straight. They're down just 2.
Money shots coming down. Ogine, it's no tomorrow. Somebody is going dancing in the next 20 minutes.
You're watching Champ Week, presented by Principal. In Reno, the Montana Grizzlies, 9-0 run. They were down 11. It's now a 2-point game early in the second half of this Big Sky Conference Championship game.
Roxy, it's interesting. It's the story of the three-point line. Eastern Washington at the first half was knocking down shots at the three-point line, 61% clip. And then Montana comes out and says, hey, we were 16-2 in regular season conference play. We want to show you we're the better team.
And they won their first 13 games in the Big Sky this year. And Montana, not really, as you alluded to, known for their three-point shooting. In fact, talking to Travis DeCuire earlier today at Shoot-Around, and he says it's usually not a good sign if we're shooting a lot of threes, but they're making threes. Mason Peatling at the rim and a foul.
To your point that you just made, you take advantage of your opportunities. If it's an open shot, you knock it down. But look at this, Peatling stepping in and then attacking the basket. I don't know, I don't think it was much there. You know why I wouldn't call a foul? Because when you're getting your stuff blocked by a 6'1" guy when you're 6'9", that ain't right.
Third foul on Michael Ogine. As Mason Peatling, 63% foul shooter. Peatling with 8 points. And it's a 3-point lead for the Eagles.
I like this young man's game. Plays a lot bigger than his 6'8", 6'9" frame. Scores in the flow of the offense. And now the Grizz, the last 4 possessions, have gotten mileage at the three-point line.
Foul on Peatling, his second, sending Fabian Krislovic to the line. And there was a physical play down low between the senior Krislovic and the sophomore Peatling.
Yeah, bumping. Now, the interesting thing for Peatling, hold your position and then just contest the jump hook, because he can go up there and challenge the shots. Don't have to worry about it. You don't have the body type to bang with him down low, but you can challenge his shot when you go vertical.
73% misses the first. Krislovic today is 115th career start. Montana record, 131 career games.
That's a lot of pointing.
And he has never missed a game in his career.
That's even more impressive, to play that many games and to be able to go through colds and flus and twisted ankles and sore wrists and still go out there and make a contribution.
He's had a strong Big Sky Conference tournament. And a kick that put 20 back on the shot clock for Eastern Washington.
Two good coaches, two fantastic coaches. Shante Leggins, excellent coach. Travis DeCure, excellent coach.
Big Sky Conference Coach of the Year.
The Coach of the Year made that adjustment now and put Roy on his AAU teammate. And all of a sudden, Bliznook is not getting easy straight line drives. I like that matchup, speed on speed. See that right there? Just contesting, contest.
Fade away from Bliznook.
He's going to hit his shots, but it's just not an open water faucet. You want to make him hit tough challenge shots.
There's a kick on Bogdan Bliznook.
And this is good offense. Taking your time, can't speed them up. They know each other, playing well. The little step back, that's just good basketball. Both teams are getting what they want, Roxy, in the second half. The offense is opened up now for the white jerseys. 16-2, like you said, in conference play, 13-game win streak.
Bobby Moorhead. And the rebound. Jack Perry gets it for Eastern Washington.
Let's say if Bliznook again calls his number. A lot of times there's a score. When you hit that first one, you go back to the well and see if you can do it again.
Peatling rattles in the corner two.
Too easy. Too easy. For Montana, you don't want to play catch-up for the next 15 minutes. Good job by Eastern Washington, just trying to defend, playing with a snap.
The lay-in by Fabian Krislovic. And a steal, Amon Rory. Can't get it to go. Here comes Bogdan Bliznook. Out of bounds, it stays with Eastern Washington, a tight one in Reno. Shante Leggins and Eastern Washington up 4 on Montana, the regular season champs.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800 State Farm. And Crest, healthy, beautiful smiles for life.
Coming up on Selection Sunday at 7 Eastern, it's Bracketology with Reese, Jay Will, Jay Billis, Seth, Dickie V, and a host of our college hoops experts on the complete breakdowns of each region. SportsCenter starts us off at 5 Eastern on ESPN with the reveal of the NCAA men's field of 68 as the teams are announced. Both also streaming live on the ESPN app. We're less than 24 hours from Selection Sunday and the semifinals here. How about Jordan Davis? Last night, this was #1 on SportsCenter's top 10.
And that's going to be there for a long time. That was amazing.
Fabian Krislovic, the good news is you're on SportsCenter as #1. The bad news is you're on SportsCenter as #1 in the top 10.
Keep your chin up, son. Keep your chin up. That was amazing. You asked me, you said, did you see that play? I said, no, you sent it to me. Wow.
5 to shoot for the Eagles. Fabian, or rather Bliznook short with that one. The offensive rebound, pulling it out, Jacob Davison.
The role players, Peatling hitting a key shot in the corner. And then you're seeing right here, Davidson with the second chance opportunity.
Jack Perry, 3. Third three for the freshman from Melbourne, Australia.
This team is hard to guard. They have a relentlessness about them. They take advantage of opportunities, and everyone is playing very well off of each other.
Timmy Falls the miss, and a foul. We're staying at this end, says Greg Nixon.
Now, Roxy, think about this. Montana is shooting the ball very well. They're shooting 62% from the field, 60% from the three-point line, but it's something about timely baskets. Eastern Washington, timely baskets. Jack Perry in the corner, Peatling that we're talking about. It keeps their opponent off base and makes them play catch-up.
That was on Benes Gressionis of Eastern Washington.
Left open, saw him the whole time.
Saeed Pritchett delayed.
Pritchett has really done a fantastic job in this tournament. He just comes out and gives you good possessions. Step right in, and now he'll be a better matchup as well for the three-point shooters.
Sir Washington. And the rebound lost by Falls, who recovers.
Got away with a foul there.
Loose ball, last touch by Eastern. It stays with Montana.
How about these young guys?
You don't think this game means something? You don't think they want to go to the tournament?
Well, that's what we said. Now, going fast. Falls right there. Got away with a foul, but they're letting them play. First one to the ground usually gets it. I like what I see. This is for the NCAA tournament. We're going to continue to repeat this. It's a privilege to be able to make it to the tournament.
Rory steps into a three. And a foul over the back of Gressionis.
Roxy, we are seeing both teams with their best stuff. Eastern Washington spreading the floor, taking advantage of any opening opportunities, especially at the three-point line where they're first in the Big Sky with their 10 makes a game. Montana really trying to grind it out inside. Rory right there with the basketball, controlling the game.
Michael Ogine, a three. Third three for the junior from LA.
Can I give you something I know you've heard from your partner, Bill Walton? Be at your best when your best is needed. Where's that from?
Who? Who you talking? Who's this Walton guy?
What's your name again? Oh, the pyramid of success. Coach Wooden would say, be at your best when your best is needed. Enjoyment of a difficult challenge.
My best is needed. That's why you're here.
Charge.
Offensive foul on Saeed Pritchett.
That's the first bad play I've seen Pritchett make in 2 days. This young man has been doing great work inside. But that's good positioning, good call.
2-point game inside 13 minutes to go.
Montana has helped themselves by slowing down the three-point shot opportunities. And also, you've got to limit Eastern Washington to one and done. First time Bliznook is on the lower block. They're not double teaming.
Ahmad Rory gets the rebound for the Grizz.
Coach DeCure making that adjustment in the second half, putting Rory on Bliznook has really helped them.
Deflected out, last touch by Eastern Washington. And it's a Montana ball underneath. So Montana 25-7, the Big Sky regular season champs. Eastern Washington, they've won 8 straight, and it's the longest win streak for the Eagles in 14 years. And there appears to be something that's troubling one of the Eastern Washington players right now as the athletic trainer comes out to take a look with Shante Leggins. And it's Jesse Hunt, who has battled an injury-plagued season, as Jesse Hunt has been dealing with a foot injury for the majority of the year. I don't want to speculate, but he's not putting much weight on that right foot as he goes back toward the bench.
I think somebody just landed on him. Coming down awkward. He's their starting big. He came back and trying to give it everything he has. I'm gonna give your Cal guys some love again, because you guys are the Cal Rapids. What's it?
You know what we are.
One of the greatest things you can have is a feel for the game, and coaches having a feel, an adjustment for their opponents. And you're seeing that in both coaches.
Ako steps out and ties the game.
Roxy, write this down. 12 minutes and 12 seconds. We have ourselves a game. Welcome to the finals.
Off balance, the leaner short from Jacob Davison. Montana looking for the lead. Pridgett attacks. And the rebound. There's Davison for Eastern Washington.
Montana finally has some matchups that favor them where they're able to challenge the three-point shot. And again, Bliznook has not been able to run wild with Rory checking him.
Here is Bliznook. Knocked away by Pridgett. Ogine fouled from behind by Peatling. Third foul on Mason Peatling as Michael Ogine was way up there. And when crashing down to the floor, he'll go to the line with a chance to give Montana the lead.
Starting on defense to offense. Look at that, hot hands. And then coming down there, making that extra pass. Folks, we've got ourselves a championship game.
Behind the back.
You know that feeling that you only get this time of year?
For the win. Yes!
Welcome back.
Champ Week presented by Principal rolls on Sunday at 1 Eastern with the SEC championship game. Kentucky and Tennessee. Again, 1 Eastern for the SEC title on ESPN and the ESPN app if you're out and about. By the way, during the timeout, they looked at that last play, so it'll stay as a common foul. Michael Ogine going to the line. I'm not dodging the question. Kentucky's on a roll right now, Adrian.
Oh, you are so fair weather. You're worse than I am. I'm fair weather as a retired former athlete. Well, you're fair weather. Now you on the bandwagon? Kentucky?
I figure if you can pick both sides of it, you can't lose.
You are my buddy. Oh, my goodness. First lead in the second half for Montana.
Led by 5 early. It's Montana on a 9-0 run to go up to. It was an 11-point Eastern Washington lead at the half.
Roy is out the game. This is the first time he's not checking Bliznook.
Timmy Falls the steal. Falls drops it in the cup.
How about this young man? He is playing like he was shot out of a cannon, explosive. Any loose ball on the floor, he's going the other way. Roxy, they have themselves a player when he's in the game.
11-0 run for the Grizz. Ty Gibson. And there's Bobby Moorhead tracking it down for Montana.
Momentum now has shifted to Montana. This is the first we're seeing them play with the quickness, playing with a zip and a zeal.
Falls off with that 3 and Bliznook the rebound.
You always have to watch number 32 because if he was a boxer, he's got knockout power. That should be a charge.
And it is offensive foul. Bliznook his first.
You want to have role players that just come out there and fire it up. Watch Falls going in there, and then just like his last name, takes a fall. But he's going up strong. He's playing with a purpose, and he energizes his team. It's a beautiful thing to see.
One thing I can do is finger roll.
When you get to Branch, I got a lot of tree jokes. So, okay. Tall as a tree, branch as in a tree.
And a foul in the post. It's on Jack Perry of Eastern Washington. 11-0 run for Montana. Eastern Washington hasn't scored in over 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth, Roxy. But again, it's because of the tempo, the adjustments that was made on Bliznook. He's such a key to his team that he hadn't been able to get going, and that three-point shot has been quiet of late.
Stays with Montana.
All of a sudden, with Montana with the lead, you see the crowd. The crowd was so quiet, sitting on their hands.
There's a strong contingent of people here from Missouri. to represent the Grizz.
Nice bounce pass in traffic.
And a foul, we're going the other way. It's an over-the-back call against Bobby Moorhead of Montana, his first.
Now Prislovic has to go up and take the contact. He can't bail out and short arm that layup. Once you're in the scoring position, you've got to finish that. Concentrate through the contact.
So here is Rory guarding Bogdan Bliznuk again.
That has really helped them. That's really balanced their offense, and it's been a better matchup as well. Got to call that high screen. Nice ball movement for the open shooter, Broxy.
Ty Gibson missed a good look. Weak side rebound, Davison for Eastern Washington. Bliznuk rattles it in. 11 for Bogdan Bliznuk.
That's a big basket that he needed because his last 3 possessions were a missed shot and 2 turnovers. So for him, that'll help settle him down. Nice bias.
And the slam. Fabian Prislovic for Montana.
Coaching comes down to coaching. Both teams reflect their coaches being unselfish, playing for one another. And the pressure what Falls has with Perry. That's a good matchup.
Ty Gibson open again. The offensive rebound, Davison, and a fresh shot clock for the Eagles.
Now Moorhead has to tighten that up because Davison has now gotten 3 offensive rebounds, which makes you play defense for another 25 seconds.
And Michael Greenstein, our official, stopping play. And for a warning to Travis DeCuire for being out of the coaching box there for an official's timeout. 4-point lead for Montana, 7:48 to go.
Both teams letting it all hang out. We're seeing some great basketball. No one wants to go home without a trophy.
It was an 11-point game at the half, Eastern Washington with the lead. And it's been a huge second half for Montana. As a miss by Jacob Davison for Eastern Washington. Here comes Michael Ogine for the Grizz. Currently on a 13-2 run. Ahmad Rory, 3.
Huge shot. The tables have turned now. The 3-point line for Eastern Washington is only 14%. They hadn't been able to score at the 3-point line, and then the defensive matchups have been better for the Grizz.
16-2 run, a foul in the post, and it's on Montana, call against Saeed Pridgen, his second. But a huge 3 from Ahmad Rory has pushed the lead out to 7. Look at the threes by half. Travis DeCuire's team was shooting it okay in the first. They're taking more of them in the second, but look at the difference for Eastern Washington.
Right now, if you look at it, it's the story of the turtle and the hare because Eastern Washington was so fast and Montana was just slow and steady.
Rattles out the rainbow from Jacob Davison.
Roxy, remember we were saying that Montana wasn't playing bad. They were shooting 50% from the field as well.
Michael Ogine cleans it up for the Grizz. 18-2 run for Montana. And 7 straight now. They're up 9.
Tiff Bliznuk calls his own offense now.
And he drops it in.
This is a time now where your superstar has to be a superstar. He shared the basketball. His other teammates have 11 points with him. He's got 13. Now he's got to put on the super suit.
And the roll for Michael Ogine, who leads Montana with 15.
Eastern Washington has to get that pep in their step again. They look a little tired, look a little spent. This is for a championship. It's not just the physical challenge, it's the mental challenge now. Red jerseys are not moving, Roxy. You don't see ball movement, don't see people movement.
Here's Bliznyuk. Peatling with 2 on the shot clock. And a foul going for the rebound, and it's on Sir Washington.
We've talked about this all game long. Timely baskets when you're scoring. Ogine inside the lane. Quick hands the first time, and then concentrate. His head on the rim, looking that layup in. All of a sudden, they put themselves in a position to possibly go up by double figures. First time in this game.
7th-team foul, so a 1-and-1 for Ogine. He's 2 for 2 at the line today. 2nd-team All-Big Sky this year. 23 in their quarterfinal win against North Dakota. Ogine last night, 19 in their win in the overtime thriller against Northern Colorado, and now has 16 in this one.
Coach Leggins said there was no pressure on them. They've got nothing to lose, so they've got to throw caution to the wind for the next 5 minutes and 35 seconds. They've got to go fast.
What a huge turnaround. Eastern Washington up 11 at the half. It's now Montana by 11.
Well, it started with Roy right there on that matchup. That has been the story of the second half defensively.
Open 3. Off the mark from Washington.
With all the shooters out there, that's not Washington's strength. Montana wins that possession because you want Washington shooting a three-pointer rather than letting him get a left-hand layup.
And the defense for Montana in the second half has been terrific.
The adjustments, talking about adjustments. Now you're seeing the white jerseys play with confidence. They're playing with a quickness and a zeal.
Pridgett, offensive foul. His 3rd. Caught him with the offhand. And with 4:44 to go, Eastern Washington gets the ball back down 11.
Let's see that left hand. It's all about the left hand. There wasn't much there for a championship. If Bliznyuk did it, he wouldn't have cost him on that one, but it doesn't have the same cachet. For Eastern Washington now, they have to try to go quickly, and also they have not been able to get second chance opportunities.
And a reach in on Rory. Second on Ahmaad Rory. But this was an 11-point lead for Eastern Washington. And a 22-4 run here for Montana over the last 9.5 minutes.
Well, remember, everyone was knocking down shots. Gibson at the three-point line.
Mason Peatling throws up a wild shot. And it seems like Eastern is also forcing it now, Adrian.
Yeah, playing a little bit with the urgency. And they were so relaxed, and all of a sudden the tables were turned on them, so they have to get back to work. But Montana is keeping them off balance.
It's all falling down for Montana. Timmy Falls hits a 3, 68-54. Montana with the lead as the Grizz are taking control of this Big Sky Championship. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal Investments Retirement Insurance and Axe. The biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada, and Montana. What a turn of events here. And they're on a run.
All of a sudden, it started with the defensive matchup with that young man you just saw, Rory, guarding the MVP in conference, and that galvanized his teammates. They were playing off of his defensive intensity. You're seeing the steals, Falls right here finishing. It's been a great job. It's almost like Eastern Washington had a sucker punch that they didn't see coming.
And Ahmaad Rory right there is an interesting key for Travis DeCuire. First team All-Big Sky this year. He originally committed to Travis DeCuire when Travis was an associate head coach at Cal for Mike Montgomery when Rory was a sophomore in high school. And then Rory, while he was a senior and Mike Montgomery retired, And about a week after Cuonzo Martin took over the Cal job, Ahmaad Rory decided he wanted out of his letter of intent. And then he went to Oregon for his freshman year. Wasn't happy in Eugene. And then wanted to reunite with Travis DeCuire and followed him to Montana. And has flourished the last couple of seasons and a first-team All-Big Sky performer this year.
Well, a couple things happen. You see the magic when you have a Power 5 player coming down to a mid-major, and he has the buy-in. They went 16-2. They were outstanding in conference play. Then he said, we got punched in the nose when we went to Eastern Washington. I'm going to push the tempo. In the second half, it's almost like they took a page out of Notre Dame, what they tried to do, Mike Brey. Let's play the first half to get to the second half. And oh boy, look what they're doing in the second half.
That three is well short. Peatling pulls it down. And a jump ball stays with Eastern Washington.
Roxy, it's like one of those milers. I don't like running. I don't like running outside of a basketball court. And you know how they just jog, and then all of a sudden in the last lap or so, they throw on the jets. And that seems like that's what happened to Montana. They had it on cruise, and then at that 12-minute mark in the second half, they tied it up. And from there, this is what's been happening.
Michael Ogine, the slam. What a second half for Montana. And going ice cold Eastern Washington as Peatling pulls down the air ball and lays it in.
Adjustments and matchup are everything. That's what got Montana back into this. And now 3-on-1 again. Oh, no showtime.
Jimmy Falls opening his bag of tricks. And a foul against Eastern Washington, and it's on Jacob Davis in his first.
This defense right here. Ogine, up. Young fella. 6-footer up there on the vertical. That's a great feeling, Roxy, when you have that wide open slam dunk.
I don't know the feeling, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Could you share?
Oh, boy. It's just you and the rim. And
oh, I've had me in the rim before. But not where I've actually been touching it.
I won't judge you, Roxy. I won't judge you.
Ogine 5 for 5 at the line. 20 points for Michael Ogine in this championship game. And Shante Legan's team, it has fallen apart at the worst possible time. They have gone frigid cold here in the second half.
It all started again when Bliznook was not able to control the second half, getting shots for his teammates like we just saw right there.
15 for Peatling. And Ogine forced to take a timeout. 2:38 remaining in this championship game. And Montana up by 15. And again, this was an 11-point lead for Eastern Washington at the half. And these two teams meeting in the Big Sky Conference Championship game for the third time, and they've split the previous two meetings. Champ Week presented by Principal rolls on Sunday at 1 Eastern with the SEC Championship game. Kentucky and Tennessee on ESPN and the ESPN app if you're out and about at 1 Eastern from St. Louis. So some tickets were punched today for the NCAA tournament. How about San Diego State winning the Mountain West, stunning Nevada yesterday? And what a great season it's been for Eric Musselman and the Wolfpack, who are in all likelihood getting an at-large bid.
They should get
They're
an
going to be in.
Yes.
But San Diego State with a run, Brian Dutcher went on in Vegas to win the Mountain West Conference tournament.
And you know, the San Diego State fans are saying, are we back again then? Because they were running things for the Kawhi Leonard years, and they had the dean of coaches that just retired. So for them to win in his first year, that's been impressive.
And they foul Chris Levick. 2.5 minutes to go. And
Coach Fisher was outstanding. He's the dean of coaches in that conference.
Second on Jacob Davis. And that's the 10th team foul, so Montana in the double bonus for the rest of the game. Chris Levick 1 for 2 at the line. But a 73%er on the year. Rolls it in.
I'm so impressed how Montana made the adjustment and went from the big front line and went and matched up at that three-point line. So the game time adjustments for Coach DeCuire, give him a lot of credit.
Bliznyk. 15 now for Bliznyk.
The all-time leading scorer in the history of the Big Sky.
So add 15 more to his total. Now with 2,142 career points for this year's Big Sky MVP.
They've got to make some stops and see if they can get a turnover and score quickly.
And there's a foul. Back to the line, Montana here with 2:18 to go.
The value of Rory, 85% free throw shooter. When he gets the ball, he's speed under control. Get the ball to him and clear it out.
12 points, 5 assists in this championship game. Third foul on Davison. And here are the recent champions in the Big Sky Conference as Montana looking to go back for the first time since they went back-to-back under Wayne Tinkle in 2012 and 2013 when they beat Weber State in back-to-back years. And that 2012 team that Montana beat had Damian Lillard at Weber State. And a steal for Michael Ogine.
Montana is the quicker team, so the double team has not bothered them when they went to small ball.
And they grab Krislovic.
Great job by Eastern Washington in the first half. They represented themselves well. Went in a scoring drought where Montana was able to catch them when we said at 12 minutes and 12 seconds we had ourselves a game, and they hadn't been able to make that adjustment.
One more for Krislovic.
I asked coaching staff, what do you want the nation to know about the Big Sky? And the coaching staff was saying that they've got great coaches and great players. You look at a Damian Lillard, who's an all-star in a max contract, you know? And also coaches go on to Power 5 schools, so.
But a lot of coaches have had success in this league. And, for example, what these two young coaches are doing, Travis DeCuire and Shante Leggins, Randy Ray, who's done a magnificent job at Weber State for a number of years now.
Absolutely. But you coach guys for 4 years, you get them better, they buy into a system, you have student athletes. Nice finger roll. That's your finger roll. There's your finger roll.
Falls.
Falls gave you your finger roll, Roxy.
Looked like a waterfall the way it just flowed. Davison and one. Counted foul on Bobby Moorhead. First points of the second half for Davison.
Roxy says this is who he would be as a basketball player. Not exactly that vertical. They have an under the rim finger roll. Kind of like a hockey.
On an 8-foot hoop.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Plus, you look at the Montana program and a great history of coaches that have come through Missoula, which now Travis DeCuire is a part of. There's a timeout taken by Montana, having trouble getting it in. But Travis DeCuire now, Wayne Tinkle, who was the head coach at Montana before Travis, is now in Oregon State. Took Oregon State back to the NCAA tournament after a 25-year absence.
It was an amazing story because Gary Payton the third.
Yes. It was Gary Payton the second.
The second, I'm sorry.
They're waiting for the third because it was from Gary Payton 1
Sing it, Roxy.
to 2.
Sing it to me.
That was the drought for the NCAA tournament. So they're waiting for number 3 to come.
Give it to me in French. Well, yeah, we called a lot of games, and that was a historic season. And then they developed that talent as well. Trace Tinkle, now the coach's son. Look at those notable players.
Notable alumni. But you look at the great coaches in Larry Krystkowiak, who both, like Wayne Tinkle and Travis DeCuire, both played and coached at Montana. You go back, Blaine Taylor, Stu Morrill, Mike Montgomery, Judd Heathcote.
It was interesting. Coach Tinkle said, my guys at Montana were even tougher than my guys. He said, we love going on the road in Montana and kicking tail. Now, he's 6'10", he's 270 pounds, so if you get to a dust-up, you got a big anchor on the bench. But that's a compliment. Like you said, Judd Heathcote. Judd came and recruited me at Michigan State.
Really?
You know, everybody wanted to be 3 players in the 70s. George Gervin, Dr. J, or Magic Johnson. And he came to DeMatha High School, Coach Judd Heathcote, and he said, I see you more as a Greg Kelser than Magic Johnson.
And that's what sent you to Maryland?
And I said, well, I see myself going right up the street 3 miles. Sorry, Coach, I'm not coming.
Mason Peatling is fouled out. As Chris Levick at the line for Montana here with the Grizz up 15. It's Montana trying to get back to the tournament for the first time in 5 years.
Well-played game. Both teams that were ahead were earning it, controlling it. Eastern Washington was on fire in the first half, 61% from the 3-point line. In the second half, that wasn't the story. They're 1 for 10. But again, the adjustments with Roy on Bliznook is the story of the game in that second half.
And balanced scoring for Montana. Bliznook a 3. And there's Bobby Moorhead, the rebound. "17-point lead, matches the largest of the game for Montana inside 45 seconds now. What a second half for Travis DeCuire and the Montana Grizzlies, storming back from an 11-point halftime deficit. Ahmaad Rory! He likes it.
What a performance by Montana.
Right now it's a 2. They're going to check to see if it's a 2 or a 3. And keep in mind, last night this was a Montana team that was literally a second away from being eliminated. If Northern Colorado's Tanner Morgan could have made 1 of 2 free throws with 1 second left in regulation last night, in all likelihood Northern Colorado was playing in this game against Eastern Washington.
That's right. And it did Montana a favor. It was scared straight because they didn't want to put themselves in a position to come down to a free throw with 1 second on the clock. What an adjustment in that second half.
Both coaches taking an opportunity here to empty the bench. They're still checking to see if it's a 2 or a 3, and it is a 2. So a 19-point lead with 31 seconds to play.
I heard one NBA scout say, as Montana's guards go, they go. And you can see that with Roy and Ogene.
So Ahmaad Rory leading the Grizzlies to this championship of the Big Sky Conference. Grant Gibb in the game late for Eastern Washington as Davison finishes. And the full court pressure.
This is going to be a season to remember from start to finish.
Joshua Thomas in as well for Eastern Washington for the Grizz. Lars Espet checks in, along with Trevor Spoya.
For a team not known for three-point shooting, they answered the bell in the second half, shooting 50%, Roxy.
And for the first time since 2013, the Montana Grizzlies are going to the NCAA tournament. Travis DeCuire has punched his first ticket to the Big Dance as the head coach of the Grizz. (82-65), Montana with a huge second half, outscoring Eastern Washington 53-25 since the half to roll to the Big Sky Tournament Championship. Montana, the regular season, and now the Big Sky Tournament champs as they run away from Eastern Washington. Montana now 26-7 on the season. And when we come back, we'll talk to the Montana Grizzlies as they're going to the NCAA tournament. 82-65, the Montana Grizzlies are Big Sky tournament champions, and Adrian Branch standing by with a couple of heroes from the Grizz.
Roxy, I got the starting backcourt right here, the upperclassmen right here. Ojane, good job out here. And Roy, we talked to you early. What in the world just happened? I'm going to start with you. What in the world just happened?
Man, we got down, and this group, they just always known to just fight. So we wanted to do it for Fab. He's a senior, and, being in the backcourt, this guy, he just makes it a lot easier for myself, and just wanted to fight, man. We're the #1 seed, and we just didn't want to go home, so we just fought hard.
I thought in the second half also you were taking advantage of scoring opportunities. What did you do to help turn that table?
First half, I started off real slow. I think I let my team down a little bit. So locker room made adjustments at halftime, and my teammates did a great job of telling me to stay aggressive. And I just was able to see some things. The game slowed down for me a little bit, and I was able to take advantage of it.
You just mentioned adjustments. I thought the biggest adjustments is when you went against your AAU teammate, Bliznook. Tell us about what happened and what you were trying to do in that second half against the MVP.
Man, I was just trying to put some speed on him. He's a great player. All-time leading scorer, Big Sky history. So, but I kind of know his game, so I was trying to cut him off, just make him work for everything. And I feel like I did that, got him sped up a little bit, and just turned him. And then he's a great player, though.
You guys are going to the NCAA tournament. What do you want to say to the nation out there that's watching? What do they have to be aware of when they play you guys?
Man, just be ready for a lot of points and, just a lot of defense. We play a lot of defense, so just that.
So we work hard all year, to be in this position right here with my guys. So, we're going to give our best in that tournament. Wherever we're seated, wherever we go, we're going to bring our energy and our A game. So we're looking forward to it.
Congratulations, guys. Congratulations. Roxy, we got some stars here. Back to you.
Michael Ogine and Ahmaad Rory helping Montana to the Big Sky Tournament Championship as the Grizz shot 63% from the field in the second half to pull away again, outscoring Eastern Washington 53-25 in the second half as Rashi Wortham with his son, the assistant coach for Montana, celebrating this championship for the Grizz, and they're going dancing for the first time in 5 years. Montana wins the Big Sky Tournament Championship, and Adrian with the head coach of the Grizz, Travis DeCuire.
Coach DeCuire, what in the world just happened? This is your first championship. You started 16-2, regular season championship, and then look at this. Lo and behold, you're winning a championship. How in the world does this feel?
Feels great. We got a lot of believers in this program. Not only the players, our families, our supporters, our community. It's a big deal for us. We got joy to the field.
I thought the story was in the second half when you made that adjustment and you put Rory on Bliznook. Tell us about that, making that adjustment.
We put some speed on him. At the end of the day on defense, speed kills. And we thought we could contain him and keep him out of the paint. And without needing so much help, we could minimize the three-point shots. Our goal was not let him shoot very many threes in the second half. We did a better job of that.
How was the feeling when you guys were 1 second away from heartbreak yesterday, and then you're coming out? Did you come out with an urgency saying, hey, we don't want to put ourselves in that position, we want to control our own fate? What were you telling your guys for this championship match?
No question, that was the thought process. We wanted to play the first 7 minutes the way we played the last 7 minutes yesterday. Unfortunately, these guys came to play too, and we need to make some responses. And basically for us at halftime, we made a big-time adjustment with switching the ball screen and not exposing ourselves to threes, and it worked out.
Now, you're forever a coach, so we're giving your little guy right here. Who is this recruit right here, Coach? Who is this guy right here? Understand the excitement right here. This is 16-2 Grizzlies. Roxy, they won this thing. Are you guys ready for the tournament, man? Hey, how excited it is for this coach here? Anybody excited about this coach here? Tell us about this coach. Hey, Roxy, we're around these champions right here, and there's a saying, you become what you hang around. Again, guys, tell us how you feel, man. Anybody excited to go to the tournament?
Hey, Adrian's excited also. He wants to hop on the Montana bandwagon.
Hey, Roxy, back to you, man.
Congratulations to the Big Sky Conference Coach of the Year, Travis DeCuire, and his Montana Grizzlies. And that second half, after trailing by 11 at halftime, 40-29, they responded. They turned the tables on Eastern Washington, outscoring them again, 53-25 in the second half. And a balanced offensive attack led by 21 from Michael Ogine and Ahmaad Rory with 15 points, 5 assists. A double-double from Fabian Krislovic as Montana is going to the NCAA tournament as they defeat Eastern Washington here in Reno in the Big Sky Conference championship game. Montana, 6 straight wins heading into the big dance. They're 26-7 as they win their 10th Big Sky Tournament championship. What a great weekend it's been for the Big Sky here in Reno. And Montana, the regular season champs, they find a way to get it done, and they win the Big Sky Tournament Championship. For my partner, Adrian Branch, and our terrific ESPN crew, Roxy Bernstein saying so long from Reno. Again, the final, Montana 82, Eastern Washington 65. So long from Reno. We now take you down to Vegas for the WAC Championship.